Welcome to Vedic Mathematics basis base values classes. We are initiating ourselves with exposure to values and features of 5-space VMST format. Today we are entering phase 13 for our initiation and exposure to 5-space VMST of features preserved as Koti Rudra Samhita. Koti Rudra Samhita is the fourth Samhita of ancient wisdom textbook Shiv Puran. First Samhita is Videshwar Samhita. Second Samhita is Rudra Samhita. Third Samhita is Shatrudra Samhita. And today we are entering Koti Rudra Samhita, the fourth Samhita. Initially, we had, when exposed ourselves to Rudra Samhita, then to Shatrudra Samhita, and now when we are entering Koti Rudra Samhita, we know that the central formulation is Rudra. Rudra is the formulation which becomes the central formulation. This formulation is of TCV value 17, and TCV value 17 is equal to the TCV value of Atma, the soul. The Shat Rudra Samhita, the Shat simple rendering means 100, and Koti simple rendering means 100 crores, 10 raised to power 9. Therefore, there is going to be a big transition from 10 square to 10 raised to power 9 square. It is this phenomenon, it is this feature, it is this transition for which we are preparing ourselves. It is here where we want to have a leap forward. We want to transcend ourselves. We have to transit from 10 raised to 2 value to 10 raised to 9 value. 10 raised to 2 value is a square value of 10 raised to 2, means of a 10 place value system which accommodates its 99 double digit numbers along the grid format 9 class 11. Therefore, this formulation, this procedure, this feature of the Vedic systems, that from n cross n grid, n square grid, we reach at n minus 1 and n plus 1 feature. It is this feature, this is this transition from the square format to the n minus 1 into n plus 1, a rectangular, a grid format. It is this rectangular format which n minus 1 and n plus 1 in fact is coordinating the dimension with the domain. Therefore, it is domain dimension format in terms of which we are proceeding. Therefore, this domain and this dimension n minus 1 and this domain n plus 1 gives us the format for the double digit numbers, and the triple digit number 100 transcends therefrom. Therefore, the step which we are taking now, we are transcending from Shatrudra Samhita format to this format by adopting a technique that square is to be approached as quadruple quarter squares. Square is to be approached as quadruple quarter squares. Make a note that the transition from the format of Shatrudra Samhita to Koti Rudra Samhita is a transition from the value 10 raised to power 2 to 10 raised to power 9. For this, the technique being adopted is that initially the square format is taken, and then the square format is transited into n minus 1 into n plus 1 rectangle. It is this transition which takes us from dimension to domain. In fact, here we are transcending from the boundary. We are jumping over the boundary. So our initial technique had been that we were converting the format of a square into a format of a rectangle, n square to n minus 1 into n plus 1. We know n minus 1 into n plus 1 gives us a value n square minus 1. It is actually 1 unit less. So by this adaptation, in fact, we are reaching at that we are coordinating now the dimension. We are reaching from dimension to a domain. There is a jump over a boundary. It is a big technique. It is a Vedic mathematical technique, unique in itself, of very big range of potentialities, as it gives us a jump from dimension straight to domain, jumping over the boundary. Now, the transition from Shatrudra Samhita format to Koti-Rudra format is that square itself is being approached as quadruple quarter squares. It is this technique which is being adopted. So we know this square we can be transited into a rectangle. So here we will be getting 10 square transcending. Like that, from this second quarter again we'll be getting 10 raised by 2. From this third quarter we'll be getting 10 square out, and from the fourth again we'll be getting 10 raised by 2. We see here that we have reached a particular format. The inside, the internal structure of a square taken as quadruple quarter squares setup, when is transited and transformed into a setup of grids, then here we get 10 raised to power 2 4 times. That means it is as many as the 4 10 raised to power 4 reach. We know creator's the space is a 4 space is having 2 space in the role of a dimension, and this role of 2 space in dimension for the quadruple dimensions gives us the value 16. Now here by this technique we know that 4 is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, and 10 is equal to 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4. It is actually from affine to the sequential organization. So this adaptation of the format of a square as quadruple quarter squares with the transition from the square grid to n minus 1 into n plus 1 rectangular grid, we are reaching at a format which gives us inside the quadruple 10 raised to power 2. Therefore, we are in fact getting 10 raised to power 2, which is having as a 4 dimensions, giving us 10 raised to power 8. Once we are getting inside the value 10 raised to power 8, then the ninth, we know that this format as it is a format which just takes us to the center of the creator's space, where is a seat of the transcendental origin, and transcendental origin creates a transcendental cavity within a creator's space, creative boundary, and it gives us a raised to power 5 is to 10, b raised to power 4. Therefore, an additional value 1 is available to us, and we reach at a 10 raised to power 9. It is a very big step. It is a very big technique. It is the Vedic mathematics processing system which has been availed by the Vedic mathematics, science and technology, that by adopting this technique of transiting from the format of a square into a format of quadruple quarter squares, then we can nip down the transcendental origin, which creates a transcendental cavity within 4 space domain, and that transcendental cavity itself with this technique, when is approached in terms of 10 raised to power 9, then we can have a full glimpse, full view, full expression, full expansion and full exposure of the transcendental values which fulfills our solar universe. Our solar universe as such by this technique is approached as a solar space which is fulfilled with the transcendental values of the order 10 raised to power 9. These 10 raised to power 9 transcendental values fulfilling the solar universe is the format of the organization of the fourth Samhita of Shiv Puran, Koti Rudra Samhita, being designated as a Koti Rudra Samhita, as that here we are trying to take up a comprehensive view for the applied values parallel to the pure values of the order of 10 raised to power 9. That will be a blissful exercise. From today, from this phase 13, our approach of learning, our approach of initiation, our approach of exposure, and our approach of self-evaluation takes the shape of lessons to be followed by blissful exercises. Initially, we had started with the lessons. Then we have started with lessons followed by workshops. Then we had reached lessons to be followed by the demonstrations. And now we have reached that lessons to be followed by blissful exercises. Initially we had lessons, then lessons followed the workshops, then workshops followed the demonstrations, and now demonstrations are following the exercises. Like that, we have to simultaneously have reach for the Videshwar Samhita, then we have to reach Rudra Samhita, then Shadra Rudra Samhita, and now we are reaching a Koti Rudra Samhita. We had initially adopted the format of a square to be transited and transformed into a rectangle. N square has been reached at n-1 into n plus 1 grid. Therefore, from the single digit systems, we have taken a grid which had taken us to n-1 into n plus 1, taking to the values n square minus 1. So all the double digit numbers of the n-1 numerals or n place value system with n-1 numerals get adjustment for its double digit numbers in the grid n-1 into n plus 1, and the first triple digit number 100 transcends through this particular grid. Therefore, the one grid as a 1 quarter rectangle of the 1 quarter square as such gives us a format that the triple digit number transcends from this grid. There are 4 quarter squares, so there are 4 quarter grids. These quadruple quarter grids give us 10 raised to power 2, means 100, first triple digit number coming out of it. So we are having as many as 4 transitions, 4 transcendence of the triple digit numbers which reach the center of the square, or which reach at the origin, transcendental origin of the creator's space. And at the creator's space there is a transcendental origin. The transcendental origin makes a transcendental cavity. This transcendental cavity is within the creative boundary of 4 space. A raised to power 5 is to 10, b raised to power 4 is the formulation of domain boundary of the 5 space. Therefore, 10 raised to power 1 appears at the boundary. As such, we are getting 10 raised to power 2 4 times, and 10 raised to power 1 means 10 raised to power 9, means Koti, means 100 crores, This transition at the format level deserves to be comprehended well. Once we have comprehended this, then we have to see that the transition is going to be from the Shat Rudra Samhita, which is a scripture of 42 chapters. And now the Koti Rudra Samhita is a scripture of 43 adhyayas, 43 chapters. Now value 42 we know is a value of a spatial order transcendence range. So pair of transcendence order, spatial order, transcendence ranges gives us value 42. So it is a transcendental carrier of a spatial order. Therefore, up till Shat Rudra Samhita, we had been satisfied with the transcendental carrier of the spatial order. Now we want to transit to a step ahead to a solid order transcendental carrier. Solid order transcendental carrier is of value 33, as the pair of solid order transcendence ranges give us a value 53. Now this 53 value as such requires a value 10 extra. It is because of the transcendental cavity, where we know a raised to power 5 is to 10, b raised to power 4, a creative boundary. This value 10 becomes available here, and it makes us a value 53, and therefore like that we have to reach at value 53. But simultaneously we can see that reach from 40 to 43 is that the chapter 42 of Shat Rudra Samhita is enlightening us with the Dwadas Jyotirling, and 43 it begins with Dwadas, these 12 Jyotirlings. With that we have to reach at Upangas. Now Upling, firstly we are dealing with links. Now we are dealing with Upling. It is of value 24, and value 24 is of the grade 4 into 6. So it takes us to 5 place value system. So 5 place value system along 4 cross 6 grid is accommodating all the 24 double digit numbers. It is this feature which is inherently available. Therefore, a reach from 42 to 43 is a reach in terms of the transcendental cavity at the origin of the creator's space. So this transcendental cavity at the origin of the creator's space is playing its role. Therefore, while reaching or while comprehending, while imbibing the values and features of the format of Koti Rudra Samhita, then one shall begin with chapter 42, the last chapter of Shat Rudra Samhita, and that way this reach should be of 44 steps. Further, let us take note that value 43 is a very blissful value, and this value 43 is of the organization 15, 15 plus 13 plus 15. Now it is 15 and 15 and 30. It is this reach which gives us that minus 13 value splits into minus 15 and minus 15. It is this second feature of the organization format in terms of which we will be ultimately having our smooth, gentle, desirable, blissful transition from the format of the Shat Rudra Samhita to Koti Rudra Samhita. We will be coming to these features for their detailed analysis so that we can fully imbibe these particular values of the transition format of the Shat Rudra Samhita to Koti Rudra Samhita. Therefore, the present lesson shall follow by the blissful exercise. This blissful exercise shall be in the form of updating. We have to update the TCV dictionary. The TCV dictionary is to be updated. Now this blissful exercise of updating TCV dictionary is that let us initially take these formulations, these 80, 78, these formulations have been tabulated here. So these tables be reproduced, and in column 1 is a serial number, but in column number 2 is the formulations. These are 78 formulations being tabulated in these particular tables. So all these tables will be available to you. You can copy it down from here also, and you can rehear this particular recording of the video of the lesson as well. And therefore these formulations, these 78 formulations shall be chased one by one and reach at the transcendental code value. The formulation Shri takes us to transcendental code value 20, which is equal to the value of a Ved. It is also equal to value of a Dev, and it is also equal to the synthesis value of the pair of transcendence ranges of a zero order. Then reach at Om, it is a formulation 16, and we know 16 is the value of the Jeev, 16 is the value of the Bij, 16 is the value of the dimensional frame of the creators of space, quadruple spatial dimensions of fourth space give us value 36, and value Paranava, value 36 is the value which takes us to a transcendence from 5 cross 7 grid, 5 into 7 grid of 6 place value system transcends out value 6 square. Therefore, like that, you can see that these formulations, when are approached, glimpsed, imbibed, reached at their TCV values, followed by the geometric formats beneath them running parallel to these formats, then we will be acquiring more and more bliss, and we will be coming parallel to our comprehension of the transcendental order of the values preserved in the Shiv Puran. Now next step, the value is 19. We know it is a value of the Dhruv, it is a value of the pole star, it is, and like that when we proceed and reach up till 78, then it would be a very blissful platform, it would be very blissful state for the mind, in terms of which we will be in a position to reach at as to how the 5 space VMST format is a format which is ultimately taking us to the original unified Ved state, the original unified state of the Vedic knowledge as it was prior to the state of organization of the Vedic knowledge as 4 Vedas by the Vedvyas. Therefore, the real aim, real challenge, real bliss and real urge of the sadhakas, the students of Vedic Mathematics, Science and Technology, is that they shall be face to face with the values and features of 5 space VMST. Now 5 space VMST once is reached at, then these sadhakas shall be blissfully fulfilled, and the intelligence field of the sadhakas fulfilled with the bliss of the order of the values and features of 5 space VMST shall be availing the values preserved in the Shiv Puran for reaching at, for glimpsing, for being face to face with the original unified state of the Vedic knowledge, which was reorganized by Maharshi Vedvyas as quadruple Vedas, as 4 Vedas, Rig Ved, Yajurved, Samved and Atharved. And we will reach at the formulations of Rig Ved, Yajurved, Samved and Atharved, and then we will see that these formulations as well are taking us to that Ved itself is of value 20, but the Parbrahm is of value 35. Now Brahm is value 45, and the Ashtaprakriti is 42, Saptabhumi is 39. Then the Rik is of value 5. It is the transcendental domain. It would be a pankti. It would be a transcendence range. And Yajur is going to be of value 11. It is equal to 11 geometries range of a 5 space, 11 versions of hypercube 5. Therefore, it reach from Rik to Yajur is a reach from 5 space domain to the 11 versions of hypercube 5, which gives us 11 geometries range. A step ahead, Sam, it is going to have a value 15, which is parallel to the value of the transcendental frame, 5 space frame of 5 solid dimensions of value 15. And step ahead, Atharv takes us to value 17, 15 as a dimension, takes us to 17 as a domain, and this value 17 is the value of our northern hemisphere of our solar universe. Therefore, like that, these formulations then will take us to the Upaveds as well, and sequentially these 78 formulations, when are being changed one by one, step by step, sequentially, gently, in the order in which these are being given here. But this order may or may not be followed, but subsequently, if it is followed, it will give us more and more exercise, more and more help to us. Then we see that the a raised to power 5, a raised to power 6, these are the values of the transcendental domain. So a raised to power 5 is a transcendental domain which is enveloped within creative boundary of 10 components. However, self-referral domain a raised to power 6 is enveloped within a transcendental boundary of 5 components. It is here that we have to, that we are transiting from the Shatrudra Samhita to the Koti Rudra Samhita, means actually we are reaching at the transcendental boundary of a self-referral domain. This transcendental boundary is of 12 components. These 12 components are approached, are reached at as Aditya, and it is of formulation 16, and this value 16 is that 6 space self-referral origin is transcending out of the 5 space. It is this transcendence out of the self-referral domain from the transcendental domain which will be giving us ling and uplings. Why lings and uplings? Lings are provided by this value 16, but uplings are provided as 6 space goes out. It is of a creative dimensional order, and it comes to of value 24, which is equal to the TCV value of formulation upling. Now the thing to be absorbed, thing to be noticed, things to be focused, thing to be attended, the feature to be followed for the subsequent lessons of proper transition after these blissful exercises. The end blissful exercise of this lesson is that let us appreciate that there are Dwadas Aditya and there are Dwadas Jyotirling. This Jyotirling formulation and Aditya formulation are the pair of formulations. This formulation will ultimately take us to the knowledge of a Vishnu Puran or value of 6 space domain. However, Jyotirling will take us to the value of the transcendental domain. Therefore, Aditya and Jyotirling, that means Aditya which is of value 16 and Jyoti which is of value 18, and 16 and 18 are coordinated as 16 as dimension and 18 as domain. It is this relationship, it is this feature, it is this value, it is this format which is going to be the ultimate feature, the ultimate format, the ultimate value which is to be imbibed by us. Let us recapitulate. Let us sit comfortably. Let us permit the transcending mind to be sequentially parallel to, be face to face with the organization features of ancient wisdom textbook of Shiv Puran by beginning from the beginning of the organization of the text of Shiv Puran itself. This beginning is to be the beginning with the prayer of the Videshwar Samhita. The prayer of the Videshwar Samhita takes us to the dimonad format of Shankar and Ambika. This pair of formulations, Shankar of TCV value 18 and Ambika of transcendental code value 22, takes us to hypercube 5 as a fourfold manifestation layer, 3, 4, 5 of summation value 18, and hypercube 6 fourfold manifestation layer, 4, 5, 6, 7 of summation value 22. Therefore, the basic reach of the ancient wisdom for the enlightenment of the transcendental carriers to be carried by the transcendental Lord along the Sthapatyamaya ring rod, presided by Lord Vishnu and Mayer presided by Lord Brahma, is that we have to simultaneously chase the dimonad format with the first monad manifesting the value of hypercube 5 and second monad of the dimonad manifesting the hypercube 4, hypercube 6. Therefore, hypercube 5 and hypercube 6 are to be together approached, to be together handled. It will provide us the necessary transition. Now, for it, we have to keep in our mind that when we are working with the Sthapatyamaya ring rod, which is a synthetic setup of hypercubes 1 to 6, it gives us a parallel values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, which is of value 21, and 6 itself is a fourfold manifestation layer which gives us value 22, and we know 21 plus 22 is equal to 43. Now, this organization feature of the text of Koti Rudra Samhita as a Samhita of 43 chapters, 43 adhyayas organization feature of Koti Rudra Samhita is the feature which deserves to be comprehended, imbibed, parallel to the swapping of a 6-space domain in terms of a Sthapatyamaya ring rod synthesized by hypercube 1 to hypercube 6. And once this hypercube 1 to hypercube 6 as synthetic setup as Sthapatyamaya ring rod, when swaps 6-space domain, then it will amount to that swapping is of hypercube 6 itself, which is a fourfold manifestation layer of value 22. Therefore, this value 21 and this value 22 both are being simultaneously swapped, both are being simultaneously chased, both are being simultaneously covered by the Koti Rudra Samhita. Therefore, Koti Rudra Samhita is the fourth Samhita, and as it is the fourth Samhita, so it comes at the middle, and as such, from here we have to proceed back for coverage of the first three Samhitas, and as well as we have to proceed ahead for the coverage of fifth, sixth and Samhitas. We further know that first three Samhitas are in fact of 8 khands, 8 parts, and the last 3 are 4 parts, as if now we will be reaching from value 8 to 4. That means now we are reaching from transcendent, from the solid boundary of 8 components and reaching back and reaching within the 4-space domain. It is this reversal of the orientation available. It is this simultaneous forward and backward processing systems are available to us as these creators of space. A 4-space is of a spatial order, and within the spatial order format there is an availability of the pair of axes, and there are pair of orientations, and therefore the pair of units, 2 as 1 and 1 as a 2, and it also takes us to plus 1 as domain to minus 1 as a dimension. All these features All these features are simultaneously at play when we reach at the middle of the middle, that is the fourth Samhita, the Koti Rudra Samhita. Koti Rudra Samhita is the center, it is the origin, it is the source reservoir. So our entire focus now in the form of the blissful exercises is that we shall remain concentrative at the origin. And origin of the transcendental domain is a self-referral domain. Then we will know that a step ahead, it is Lord Vishnu who will be fulfilling himself with the transcendental values by reciting 1000 transcendental names. And it would be beautiful to know that the 999 names are the names of the transcendental values, and the 1000th name is the I of Vishnu himself. Therefore, from the setup of a triple eyes head of Lord Shiv, we will be reaching at a head of Lord Vishnu of quadruple eyes. It is this attainment which is the awaiting for us. It is this attainment, it is this bliss for which we are urging. It is this state for which we are having our intensity of urge, and those who follow this path faithfully as per the organization format features of this ancient wisdom textbook, they become fortunate for to be blessed and to be filled with the transcendental grace. Thank you very much.